Kathy. Line judge Bob Bickley, back judge Mark Potter, and on the clock the one and only George Pollock. BHS won the toss. Elected to defer the second half. They will receive. Damon Wimberly is deep. And let's get this game started. Pretty short kickoff. Vontrell Mitchell picks up short. Got a good wall of blockers. Nifty move. He'll get up to about the 30-yard line. Buholtz has nice field position to start the game with.
Good job right there by Vontrell Mitchell. They set up the little wedge going straight up the middle. He did a good job of following his blockers. Now, Vince, I think it's very important this very first drive for Buholtz. We talked to the Columbia coaches before the game. They said, yes, we expect for Buholtz to come out and throw the ball on us. And I think it's important right here that Johnson gets them going.
Let's take a look at that Buholtz offense, and there is Doug Johnson, the quarterback, with a host of skilled players around him. And that Buholtz offensive line is led by Conrad Call, the right tackle, who of course weighs in at a strong 6'5", 271. First play from scrimmage, twins to the left. It's Wimberly off right tackle, right behind Call. He'll pick up 3.
Good job right there, just simple little handoff. Buholtz finding out what kind of defense Columbia's going to run against them tonight.
Tackle made by Joey Wilson, excuse me. And there's a look at the Columbia defense. We highlight Tashay Everett because of his immense size, 6'2", 266 senior. And the rest of the defense, Kalen Jackson had a fine game last week in the Old Oaken Bucket, where Columbia plays Sewanee, and Columbia won 21-20 in overtime in the Kansas tiebreaker. 2 receivers to the left is Vontrell Mitchell and R.J. Anderson. Wimberly on the handoff. He's met and stuck hard. Number 43, Kalen Jackson. We just pointed him out, Kevin.
Kalen Jackson, he's a very good player. I asked the coaches if he was being recruited heavily. They said, no, not yet. He has to prove himself. And I think he's doing a good job so far. I think the main problem is the fact he's only 6 foot 180, but he's a heck of a player, Vince. He shouldn't be underrated.
If he keeps up the level he's been playing for the last 2 weeks, we'll be seeing him on some Saturday afternoons. So Buholtz faced with 3rd and long, traditionally a big problem for their offense, but not this year with Doug Johnson, R.J. Anderson. R.J. Anderson is to the right.
He's got a very tight split there, Vince.
Fakes the draw, throws to Anderson. It looked like defensive holding, and there's the call. Corey Williams, the defensive back, number 32, gets called for defensive holding. R.J. Anderson, you know that the defense is keying on him.
Well, he went up to him, and he went to bump him. It looked like Anderson was going to hit him and roll off to the out. Now, Johnson was looking at him, and 32 just got a hold of him and didn't let go.
Corey Williams did the best thing next to getting beat. He's getting the penalty and not getting beat for the big play. And there's the call, pass interference. That's Gerald Bars. Veteran Cox Cable viewers will have heard that name more than once before.
Look for him to try to go to air again, Vince.
On 1st down, let's look for it. Ted Bullard is the fullback, offset to the left side, and 2 receivers to the left. Bullard in motion. Looked like some movement. Looked like Perkle and maybe Call moved early.
Yeah, Wesley Perkle, I think he anticipated the snap just a little bit early there. Took off.
Illegal motion on the Bobcats will push them back 5 yards for a 1st and 15. 10-18 remaining in the quarter. And don't forget, all during this game, we'll be going down to our roving sideline reporters, Mike McKnight and Brian Greenspoon. Give you up-to-minute injury updates and inside stories on the players for both teams. And one more member of our staff would like to announce, Marcus Overstreet, our stat man, is back, keeping us up to date and the viewers up to date on the performances of this game. Wesley Perkle is flexed as a tight end. Fake handoff. Johnson wants it all. He's got Anderson on the sideline. Great defensive play there by Williams. It makes up for the bad play earlier.
I tell you what, Corey Williams should have had that interception, Vince. That ball hit him right there in the hands. He did a good job defensively and a good job of knocking the ball away. I'm sure his coach won't yell at him, but I'm sure they wouldn't have minded too much for you to come away with that ball right there.
There is a flag on the field about the 40-yard line of Columbia, and it's a defensive hold again. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a 1st down automatic.
Well, it was on Vontrell Mitchell was lined up there in the split, and he had a really good jump off the line. I think the guy who was guarding him took a hold of him not to get beat deep.
There's a look at the Columbia faithful in the background. They made a nice trip, about an hour's drive down I-75 to see their Tigers. Johnson on the handoff to Wimberly, bounces it outside, but a great pursuit by the line. Tackled by Jason Lang and a host of others.
Nice little play there, 1st and 5. No reason to really try anything fancy. 2 yards on the carry there for Wimberly.
So we're looking at 2nd and 3 in this position.
Wimberley really been doing a good season this year so far for the Cats. We talked about their passing attack, but as we all know, you got to have a good running attack to set up your passing attack.
He strained a hamstring in the first game of the year against Eastside, but he is back to full strength, says Coach Dean. Johnson not doing a very good job of selling that run. He goes long to Anderson. He stepped out of bounds way earlier before that attempt. So we're looking at 3rd and 4 here for Buholtz.
That's not a bad play right there. Try to second down, short yardage. Go ahead and try to throw a long pass. Now you got 3rd down, and Johnson will try to get the 3 yards right here. Long 3, short 4 for the 1st down. Johnson, though, you're right, Vince. Good point there. He's got to sell that. He's got to make that ride right there. He's got to at least put the ball in the gut of the running back. That's what will suck up the linebackers there and sell that run.
Ball's on the right hash mark. It's 3rd and very short, and the Columbia defensive backs are up tight. Hand off to Wimberley. And Diamond D bounces it outside. I think he got the 1st down. He had to get to the 36-yard line. I'm sorry, the 41.
That last little surge, Vince, I believe, got it for him. Yes, it did.
First.
I love you.
George Dean had to be happy with that right there. Wimberley did a good job. Got out there. Wasn't really a whole lot of blocking for him. He made his way on up there. And that last second little surge, he pushed the ball forward and got the 1st down.
Wimberley, despite his size of 6'1", 180, he can bench press 265 pounds, and he only weighs 180. That's very impressive.
Just saw a shot there of the many Columbia coaches. They may have set a record tonight for most coaches brought to a game.
They can field a team on their own. Vontrell Mitchell on the scissors. Nice balance. He'll pick up about 8, maybe 9 yards on the carry. Vontrell Mitchell on the misdirection.
Good job on that. Talking about that balance, Vince. Vontrell Mitchell, a lot of running backs would go down right there, but he kept his balance and got an extra 3 yards. That's what coaches like to see. You'll get a lot of playing time. You do stuff like that.
Vontrell Mitchell gets a lot of playing time as the starting Z-back, the Buholtz creation for their motion wide receiver, and also the 3rd back in the backfield. Very active. Many great athletes have played that position. Corey Quaintance, Israel Boswell in years past. Mark Whittemore. Johnson on the quick fade route to Anderson. Nice touch.
Oh.
Did Anderson catch that ball?
No, he didn't.
Yet to see a mark. He didn't catch it.
No, it bounced off his fingertips right there at the end, Vince.
Says Anderson, they've thrown his way 3 times unsuccessfully each time.
Got to give a little credit on that play right there to Corey Williams. He did a good job. He stuck right with him. Anderson, though, it was right on his fingertips. He almost made a great catch there.
So it's 3rd down again for the Bobcats. Columbia really spreads out the defensive ends, looking for a big pass rush. They hand it off to Wimberley up the middle. Runs into his own blocker. He will not get the 1st down. Brian McGinnis didn't get enough push on the lineman, and Wimberley ran right into his back. So the Bobcats are on the punt.
Sorry about that, Vince. I tell you what, that wasn't really a good play right there. They had the middle jammed up. They had the 3 linebackers coming up tight on that line. Johnson maybe should have checked off to something either going outside or maybe just a short little pass or something. I'd like to see them run what they did against Eastside, where they fake to the running back and he comes out of the backfield, does about a little 5-yard curl out into the flats.
This is the heavy jumbo set for Buholtz. There is some confusion. Shane Goss, they're going to call a timeout. Shane Gosling checks in as the 3rd tight end along with Ricky Brembert, but they're going to slow that down and get back, talk to Coach Dean, make sure everybody's on the same page. So far tonight, Wimberley has 5 carries for 10 yards, so Columbia is bending, but they have yet to break.
They're doing a very good job. I'd like to see Buholtz right here maybe put it up in the air a little bit. Look at, as we see Coach Dean talking to Johnson, he might be asking him about that last play. If you have a run, I don't know what their audible system's like, Vince, but if you have a run set up and you see that the linebackers are filling that gap, if you do have an audible system put in and you're allowed to audible, would have been a pretty good idea right there for Johnson to maybe go to a sweep or a little flat pattern or something, because Columbia brought all 3 linebackers right up there in the AB gaps.
So we're taking a look here as Buholtz has a 4th and 2. It's 4th and 2. Buholtz has come up to the line. still in the heavy jumbo set. Vontrell Mitchell, the backup. I'm sorry, that's Ricky Rembert, the backup fullback, is at the wing. Lots of size on the field right now. They hand off to Wimberly to the strong side of the formation. He picks it up easily. In fact, gains about 7 yards on the carry. First down, Bobcats.
Good job right there. Kelvin Stewart was up in the backfield quickly, and Wimberly did a good job just to avoid him and get on through there and get the first down, Vince.
7.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Bobcats using a lot of clock.
This is a good drive, Vince. This is, I'm sure, what Dean wanted them to do. Come out, control the ball, take it on down the field, and hopefully get a score out of this.
Unbalanced line with two tight ends here for Buholtz. Hand off to Wimberly to the very strong side. If he's got the speed to turn this corner, he's got a fumble by Wimberly. It was stripped by Corey Williams. And the Columbia Tigers picked it up. I've yet to see a signal. There it is. Gerald Bars gives the ball to the Tigers on a turnover. Great play by Williams. We mentioned his name a lot in that first drive, and he comes up big there at the end.
Exactly, and a good job there. Lang Jason, I believe is what we have here for his name. Lang Jason, number 41.
Jason Lang.
Is it Jason Lang? Jason Lang.
Those alphabetical rosters will kill you every time.
I tell you what, he did a good job. The ball was sitting right by the sideline. He did a really good job to pick the ball up without going out of bounds. And look at this huddle that we're seeing out of Columbia. Very interesting.
The amoeba huddle. Look for Columbia. They run a lot of option eyes, so we're going to see a lot of them going wide or give it to Crumity up the middle. Of course, Buholtz has had a lot of practice playing against option teams. Might be some unsportsmanlike conduct on a Buholtz player. Crumity got a little mixed up, didn't see the player, but I'm pretty sure that Buholtz is going to just give up 15 yards.
Very interesting, Vince. I'm kind of surprised that Buholtz is playing as many men back as they do.
Columbia offense, there's Deion Crumity. We mentioned him as their leading rusher for the team, and the right guard, Lee Mixon. Very strong individual. 6 foot 195, but don't let that deceive you. Very strong lower body strength, able to create a lot of holes on the offensive line. Mike McKnight is on the sideline with an update for us. Mike, take it away.
Guys, you can see on that last Buholtz drive, they were trying to get the ball in the hands of R.J. Anderson, their star wide receiver, number 10. He is a transfer from Hillsborough High School in the Tampa area. High jumped 6 foot 8 inches last year, the highest returning high jumper in the state. Coach George Dean is certainly happy about getting a transfer like that fall right in his lap. Guys?
Mike, in-depth coverage. Now, my theory is if you can high jump or hurdle, you can play about any sport in the world.
A lot of times guys like that don't have really good hands, but that's not the case in R.J. Anderson's case because he does a good job catching the ball.
Two receivers to the left for Columbia. Williamson hands off to Crumity up the middle. He'll pick up 7. You'll see a lot of that tonight because Crumity averages about 6 yards a carry.
I tell you what there, Vince, there's an unfair matchup right there between Brayon Thomas and Gator Reed out there. Brayon's a big boy now. He is 6'2", 230. He came out to block Gator, and Gator ended up on his back there.
There's Crumity, and there's the tailback, number 31, Aubrey Medeiros. Fakes the dive. Nice play by Williamson, the sophomore. Takes advantage of a broken play. And he will not be caught. Touchdown, Columbia. A 47-yard run with 5:45 remaining.
Did a great job there on the option. They came up, they covered the pitch man. He kept it for himself, cut back across the field, and went all the way for the touchdown, Vince.
6-0 for Columbia. Very early here in the game. Crumity was able to soften up that middle with the dive before that. And Williamson followed right behind him in the next play.
Corey Gostin was the last guy that had a chance. Quarterback just got right on by him.
On to kick, Billy Jennings, the holder, Eddie Norris. Not a lot of beef on the kick, but it got through. 7-0 Lake City here in a big matchup for both squads.
It was a really good run there by James Williamson. One of the only three sophomores on this team.
But all 3 start.
And all 3 of them start, exactly, Vince. Thank you.
They had a big JV squad the last couple years, been very successful, and Coach Point will kick it off deep. To the corner, he looks in for Vontrell Mitchell, obviously wants no piece of Damon Wimberly from the 5-yard line. Pretty good wall set up. Mitchell makes a nice cut. He's to the 40. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be quiet and let's see if he can make it. He is down at the 2-yard line. 93-yard kickoff return by Vontrell Mitchell.
Vontrell Mitchell, Mr. Special Teams for Buholtz. We saw him 2 weeks ago with the fake punt for the 56-yard touchdown. Just now, he returns it 93 yards all the way down to the Columbia 2-yard line.
There's the Buholtz crowd. The band's up. Fans are up. They're happy to see their kids moving the ball. And after a pretty ugly drive after the turnover and all the penalties, they didn't really move the ball well. Now they get a chance to stick the ball in the end zone.
Exactly. Good job there. It's kind of a backbreaker right there for Columbia. They got the momentum. They just scored, and then they give something up like that.
Seems like there's confusion again on the Buholtz offensive set. They got the unbalanced line to the right with twin tackles and Wesley Perkle there over the right. Rembert in motion, and there's the flag. Huge hole there. Too bad they couldn't take advantage of it.
Good job by that heavy jumbo line.
Encroachment against Columbia. So they're going to go half the distance to the goal line, first and goal from the 1.
Tell you what, I'd like to run behind Big John Crawford and Conrad Call. Those two are going right next to each other. They're probably going to open up a lot of holes for you. Wimberly has to smile every time he looks over there and sees those two lined up next to each other.
Same setup. There it is to Wimberly right up the middle. Looked like a great fill by one of the linebackers, number 27, Sam Little. He did not get in.
Good job by Little. He just shot the gap right there, got in there and hit Wimberly.
Might be time to look for a little play-action pass.
Good individual play right there.
Second and about a foot.
Might see right here, you just might see a little quarterback sneak. Doug Johnson just taking himself right over the top.
From the 3 tight end set, Rembert is the wingback.
Johnson got a little head start there. He never got set underneath the center. I don't know if that's the call there, but he kind of walked up, and as he hit there, he snapped the ball. Nope.
Encroachment again against Columbia. So
I'd look for them to run that same play again. It's a very safe play. You don't have to worry about the handoff where there might be a fumble. Very safe, very good play. They've only got inches to go.
So it's second down again from about the half-foot line. Wimberly yet to get an official carry. He's got the ball twice, but not on the board yet. Wimberly in the deep offset eye. Bullard is Johnson. He's in there. Touchdown, Bobcats. It's 7-6, Columbia.
He did a good job. If he doesn't spin, I don't know if he gets in. They held him up right there at the center, but he did a good job. He spun right on in there and got the touchdown, Vince.
So Doug Johnson on the sneak with 4:36 remaining, getting right back in the game.
That's a very big boost right there for the Buholtz offense. They drove the ball all the way down, then had a turnover. Columbia scored very quickly, and now Buholtz answers them very quickly.
The snap, the hold, the kick. It's wide left. Columbia holds on, still 7-6 here in the first quarter. McCants with a rare miss.
I'll tell you what, if he kicks that ball straight, it might have got blocked. Columbia was in there very quick.
Lots of pursuit from the left side of that defense. Let's go down to the field. We got Brian Greenspoon talking to the star of the game so far for Buholtz.
Thanks, Vince and Kevin. I'm here with junior wideout and kick returner Vontrell Mitchell, who just had a great return. Vontrell, what happened on that kickoff?
Nothing. We just had some great blocks up front, and the ball was in my hands. I feel like, I'm one of the great backs we got coming out of Buholtz and going to Buholtz, so, we down 7-0, so I just had to do something with it.
That was junior Vontrell Mitchell, who had that big 93-yard kickoff return. Another note, Lake City's offensive coordinator Billy Hale says the Tigers are just going to have to come right back and stick it down the Cats' throat. We'll see what happens. Back to you, Vince and Kevin.
Thank you, Brian. As Buholtz lining up in their pooch kick formation. Nice and high, and the fair catch is called for and made by Jameel Bullock.
That is what Buholtz wants out of that right there, Vince.
Right, we saw him
doing it against Eastside. Nice kick right down there to the 20, and they got the fair catch. I don't know exactly why they run that all the time. Maybe McCants doesn't have the ability to get the ball back there. They don't have a lot of confidence in their coverage team, but they run that consistently. If they keep getting that, though, hey, that works for them right there. There's 3 coaches giving signals. Now, obviously, 2 of them are decoy, and the other one's the real one. But when you have as many coaches as Columbia has,
might as well use them.
Yeah, you might as well do something with those guys.
7-6 Columbia in the lead, and under center is James Williamson, the sophomore quarterback. And a quick whistle.
Once again, we have a penalty.
Yes, handoff to Medeiros will be for naught. Dead ball foul.
This referee crew we have tonight, very observant. Very observant, catching every little thing that both teams are doing here.
Encroachment against Buholtz. A lot of encroachment penalties so far tonight. Both teams just ready to get some hitting going on, get a little too close.
I guess so. Could be a lot of times teams are, the way it's being called after a snap, probably lining up offsides. That's what they're doing. It's just something you have to be cognizant of, just to look down the line and see where the ball is, stay back a little bit.
This is 1st and 5 for the Tigers from the I. Handoff to Medeiros. Wrapped up, but a good push by the Lions, and they get in to pick up about 3.
Good hard run by Aubrey Medeiros, but there's really nowhere to go right there. Good job by the linebackers of Buholtz. They stepped right up, closed the hole down quick. David Sanders, who had a very good game for Buholtz against Eastside the last time we had him, in there on the tackle.
A lot of changes on the Buholtz defense. Coach Dean says he's still trying to smooth out the defensive roster. Shane Gossinger got the start, the inside linebacker. Jeff Carter steps up. And lots of shuffling on the defensive line also. Looks like an equipment timeout. Aubrey Medeiros, the junior, is going to have to be replaced by Jameel Bullock.
He may have lost a contact. Oh, yeah, it is his helmet. Never mind.
There's a close-up camera work by the Cox Cable 8 staff. Handoff to Bullock. He will not get the first down. It's going to be 3rd down for the Tigers. Tackled by a host of Buholtz players. You know, they're expecting the run.
Well, they definitely are. The coaches said to us before the game, the Lake City, or the Columbia coaches, that they're just going to run the ball. I mean, and every team that they play knows that. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pass it maybe 4 or 5 times a game, but they're, for the most part, they're going to run the ball. So Buholtz is loading up the front line, which is smart.
Look at the Tigers' stats. James Williamson so far this year, 5 of 20 passing, 2 interceptions. So you can see why they don't throw the ball.
Yeah.
3rd and 1. The dive to Crumity. Look at that leg strength. He's got that first down.
Good job right there by Crumity. Tell you what, though, if James Williamson keeps the ball on that carry, he's got a lot of room out there to the right. The Buholtz defense really jammed up that middle. Keeping that ball right there could have got a lot of yards.
That's why they call it the option offense. Many different things you can do during one play. If they can start establishing the dive,
right,
the Buholtz team starts slanting in, and they can work the wide stuff.
Exactly. Well, a lot of times the coach will call the dive. He'll call the dive, and then you just carry it out. You bring the option later.
There's the straight handoff to Bullock. He's wrapped up. Looked like Gossing on the stop. No, it wasn't. It was number 50, and that is Savalas Lee, the starting left defensive end.
Savalas Lee did a very good job. Got in there quick, kept his head up, wrapped up, and made the tackle.
What more can you ask?
That's the way you're supposed to do it right there. There he is. He's a big man. He's one of the big people on that Buholtz line. There's not too many of them.
6'3", 238 senior. Bench presses 320 pounds.
He dwarfs Tarek Payton and Gator Reed down there.
I got a dresser that needs moving. I better get his number. Hand off to Medeiros. He's got a lot of open field. Nice block outside with a split end. Eddie Norris got the start out there, and the tackle was made by Jeff Carter.
Exactly. Great play. I tell you what, a great block right there by the guard, Lee Mixon, number 71 for Lake City. The one we highlighted. He did a good job. He turned that DN in and just opened that hole wide open. Good job.
3rd and 3 here for the Tigers. Really using a lot of clock, but they're not picking up a lot of yards. They're really having to work for this.
Well, I tell you what, you get 3 yards every down. That's it's going to work for you. 3 and 4 yards every down.
Man-to-man coverage on the outside, as you would expect. Counterplay. That confused the defense.
going to be very close,
Harris,
Vince.
yes, very close to that first down. He needed to get to the Columbia 45. And the spot will put him at the 45 3/4.
They do not have, they do not have it with that spot right there, and the Columbia coaches are not happy about the spot either. 4th down.
Officials timeout. Looks like Coach Wolf wanted to get the punt out there. Got to be very, very careful here for a hard cadence on the part of the Tigers to try and draw Buholtz offside.
Tell you what, a very interesting thing about this Columbia team, they have 11 offensive players, 11 defensive players. They have special teams. There's a lot of schools, we've seen a lot of schools with players going both ways. I don't think there's any player going both ways for this Lake City team. They're very organized over there. They kind of remind me of my college. First of all the coaches that they have, and then with all the teams like that.
There's Gerald Barnes with the signal, just a foot left. That's true. Coach Skip Wolf is in charge of the offense. He'll take all the blame, but of course he'll share the praise. In charge of the defense is Brett Henley, a Buholtz grad who was very, very nervous before the start of this game when we talked to him.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Brett Henley.
And special teams is led by Billy Hale. So that's true. They do have everything divided up, the players and the coaches. Back to punt, Matt Carlson. Long snapper is Fulford, the backup quarterback, number 13, which is kind of something you don't see too often. Kind of slow, but it got back there. Sanders! Dave Sanders, and he wants to run. He wants the glory, and he got it. To the 7-yard line, Dave Sanders, another spectacular special teams play.
Great job, Dave Sanders. We saw him against Eastside block a field goal attempt. He just got right on through there, came right up the middle, made the block, and then made the scoop for an extra 5 yards or so.
You've got to like Buholtz when they get this kind of field position.
Special teams so far is the name of the game in this game, Vince. The Buholtz special teams are the difference.
So we got a timeout on the part of Buholtz with 1:14 remaining in the first quarter. There's Dave Sanders, the man of the hour, Tower of Power. I used to know that rhyme, but I'll stop it.
I tell you what, he's a small guy, but I mean he's doing a heck of a job. Good job on linebacker. He's doing a good job on defense and on special teams. Blocking the field goal against Eastside 2 weeks ago. Then tonight, getting a block of the punt. He just shot right up the middle. That's how you win games, Vince, right there. Special teams.
A lot of people forget there's more than just an offense and a defense to playing football. The special teams is just as important, if not more so, because they put points on the board a lot.
Exactly. Set up your offense. Nice little... I tell you what, when you only have to play on a 7-yard and 2-yard field, it makes it very easy on the offense to get the ball on in the end zone.
Looks like the old Superstars game where they play flag football on a 25-yard field. That's the kind of field position they're getting tonight. Perkle and Ben Bear are in at tight end. They hand off to Wimberly. Nice tackle. Wimberly tried to go airborne, and I'm going to wait for that number because I want to make sure I give that guy some credit.
Looked like Glenn Fleming, Vince. Number 72, 6'1", 270, junior.
Looked like Kaylon Jackson to me. Not sure. People.
I would not be surprised if it was Kaylon Jackson because he is everywhere.
Kaylon, he plays the rover position for him, which rotates the weak side of the formation, and that's exactly where that play was run.
Exactly. Coach Brett Henley said before the game he'll have him everywhere. He'll drop him back in the coverage sometimes. He'll bring him up on the line. He's their do-all man. He had a big interception last week to help preserve the game against Sewanee.
And here's the set I was expecting. You got man-on-man coverage. R.J. Anderson at the top of your screen.
Okay, will we see a fade, Vince?
Maybe a slant. The counter inside to Mitchell. He ran right into Conrad Call.
Give credit on the tackle right there to number 71, Conrad Call.
Was that a problem with technique with the footwork, or was he pushed back into the play?
It looked like he just got pushed back a little bit. By the time Mitchell got the ball, Conrad was right there.
8 seconds remaining in the quarter. I think Buholtz is going to let it run out and try it on the other side of the field.
Yeah, here comes a free time out for them. They can discuss what they want to do on this 3rd and 7 play.
So if this first quarter is any indication, get your popcorn and soda now because you want to sit down for the rest of this one. Columbia 7-6 at the end of the first quarter.
The hits. The excitement. The matchup. high school football on Cox Cable 8.
McKelvin in the booth. 7-6, Columbia. That high jump up there. Touchdown, Bobcats.
Good play right there. They had the ball on the right hash. You got that whole left side of the field. Good job, RJ Anderson. And they're going to go for 2, Vince.
I was going to ask you if they were going to go for 2 or not based on the missed extra point.
Richard Rimbert coming in with the play. And according to the band, the Bobcats are in the house.
Whoop, there it is.
No, they're in the house. They're like Snoop Doggy Dog.
The wide angle, they're going for 2. Johnson, he's looking back. Roll out past a Perkle, but look who caught it. Vontrell Mitchell in the flat on the hook pattern. So Bobcats are now up even, 14-7.
Doug Johnson right there. Took him a second to throw the ball for some reason. He had Vontrell right away, open. That got kind of dangerous there with Perkle coming out there in the same pattern. I said before, you don't want to have 2 receivers in the same area like that. That way, that means you got 2 defenders in the same area. But good job there by Vontrell Mitchell. He's having a very good game so far. Big kick return, and now this.
McCants a little deeper than I think the coaches would like. That's going to give Bullock a chance to return it. No, he did give the fair catch signal. Inside the 20 is where the Tigers will start their option I attack.
That was a very good kick there by McCants. For only taking a 2-step lead, he got it all the way down there to the 15-yard line. I believe you're right, though. I don't believe
Jernigan. Handoff to Crumity. Went nowhere. Buholtz defensive line is up to the task.
Got a little extracurricular activity. Diving this ball. Pretty soon the quarterback's going to pull it.
There it is, the pitch outside to Medeiros. Nobody's on him. Nice hit. Dave Sanders flopped their formation, send 2 receivers to the left side. Antonio Smith has to hustle, get over there in coverage. Fake handoff, and Williamson is smothered. Derek Harris, the punt returner and kick returner, very dangerous. His brother, of course, the big recruit at U of F. A nice kick by Carlson. 43 yards for Carlson. Buholtz playing defensive back for the Gators. And movement. Brian McGinnis gets caught. He didn't know the snap count. They're going to move it back 5 yards.
They left in the second quarter.
2 receivers to the short side of the field. I don't think Doug Johnson's capable of running an option to the wide side. Inside handoff to Bullard. Got stopped from behind, it looked like. Great push by Tashay Everett.
Tashay Everett got in the backfield quick. 6'2", 266 defensive tackle. One of the few seniors that are out there on that field for Columbia. Did a good job. He knifed right on through there.
Before... Second and 5, 9:15 remaining, 14-7 the score. The Columbia Tigers in the lead. Doug Johnson looks like he's giving some last-minute instructions to his receivers, which is Vontrell Mitchell and RJ Anderson to the right. Mitchell in motion. Perkle is wide open, but Johnson likes to throw deep. Both players going for the ball, no call. 3rd down, let's go down to the field with Brian Greenspoon.
Thanks, Vince and Kevin. I'm here with inside linebacker David Sanders, a senior who's really key in this special teams play by the Bobcats. Dave, you blocked that punt. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, it felt great. We saw on the films earlier this week that they're pretty weak on the special teams, so we worked real hard in practice, and just saw a hole and I popped it.
All right, that's senior Dave Sanders on that big punt block. Buholtz special teams really doing the job for the Cats tonight. Back to you, Vince and Kevin.
Pop it. He popped the ball very good all the way back to about the 7-yard line.
Johnson wants to get to the 7-yard line, but this time Columbia's overthrows Mitchell and Perkle both. It's incomplete, 4th down. Earlier I said Columbia was leading. I apologize, Bobcat fans. You are leading 14-7.
I tell you what, Vince. Once again, Johnson, he had 2 receivers at in the very same area. That's not a safe play to play. It's not a safe area on the field to go to. Excuse me. If you have 2 receivers right there within 5 yards of each other. That's what he did, and the ball was incomplete. And now it's 4th down, and they'll have to punt.
Johnson 2 for 6, 10 yards this evening. Not even close to the numbers he was put up against Eastside, but closer to the numbers he put up against Santa Fe. Punt by McCants. There's a big rush, and somehow he got that one over top of Kalon Jackson. And he's going to let that one roll. So we're looking at a split backfield, or more of a double wing, actually. What is that? We don't know what that is, but it's a handoff to Deion Crumney. That much we do know. He'll get to about the 20-yard line.
Putting the wing over there behind the tackle. It's a set we have not seen so far this season.
The old pro H-back formation. That's what we'll call it.
Sure.
8:03 remaining.
It's like something Notre Dame probably ran back in the 40s or something.
The single wing. No quarterback. Just snap it to the tailback directly.
Sure.
Who needs to throw? There's that wing thing again. Ron Jernigan in tight.
Looked to be movement by Buholtz. They didn't make the call.
But Jameel Bullock is moving it. Give him a couple yards on the carry. Of course, if you want copies of today's game, call that number right there, extension 250 or 251. $19.95 plus tax with the calculator crunching to give you the exact number.
Ask for Carlos Torres.
Deion Crumney picks up about 6, gives a first down to Columbia on the left hash mark.
Load on one running back.
Man-on-man coverage again to the wide receivers. That ain't going anywhere. Pitch to Medeiros again. Nice move on Smith. He's got the corner. To the 50-yard line goes the Columbia running back, Aubrey Medeiros. The junior making a great move to get past Antonio Smith. Didn't even need a block.
No, he didn't. He did a good job. He faked like he was going to cut up inside and then exploded outside. Good job right there. That option, they keep running that ball up the middle. That option is going to work.
Aubrey Medeiros, that was his 4th carry, has 40 yards. It kind of looks like they're making that pitch very, very early, as if by design.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like I said, a lot of times on these options, the play will be called. It will be called option give.
Motion by Medeiros. Handoff Crumney on the counter, picks up about 3. You know, regardless of the contact that's being made on Crumney, he's getting his yardage.
Oh, he is getting his yards. Strength by Crumney.
We need to get this man a telestrator. 2nd and 8. There's the pitch to Medeiros to the left side. Nobody out there. Medeiros, another great move. They're moving the sticks for Columbia.
Good job. And I've been on these wide receivers out there, but both of those guys did a very good job blocking. Very good job. Number 14, Eddie Norris, held his block well. And number 29, Ron Jernigan, both of them held their blocks and allowed Medeiros to get on out there and get that first down.
Talk about your heavy jumbos. Big time tackle along there with John Crawford. 1st and 10, 2 receivers to the right. Hand off to Crumney. He's still gone. He is gone. Somehow it gets through the people. And from 40 yards out, we'll say 39. Marcus Overstreet corrects me. 39 yards. Deion Crumney, it's 14-13.
I tell you what, Vince, on that last play, there was confusion in the Buholtz defense. The slot went out there. There were players yelling at each other. They didn't know who was supposed to go out there. There ended up being one person guarding the slot, and someone else was running out there. Next thing you know, Crumney's running right up the middle, and none of those guys know what's going on.
There have been a lot of confusion on those when they put 2 receivers the same side. Looks like Antonio Smith and or Corey Gostin just they're not paying attention to their assignments.
That may be something that Columbia has not shown before tonight. Buholtz isn't ready for it.
What both teams have shown a lot tonight is they like to jump into that neutral zone. So we have a legal motion on Columbia.
I believe it was number 57 there, Tim Thrift, went down a little early.
There's coach Skip Wolf. So this is going to be a 25-yard. Actually, they're going to push him way back. It's a 30-yard extra point attempt.
This is always interesting.
Billy Jennings was a star last week.
No, they're moving it back up, Vince.
See, I said 5 yards first, and the officials moved it back 10. Just a little bit of confusion. I was hoping I was right.
We should give them an earpiece.
5:39 remaining. 14-13 Buholtz. The snap, the hold, the kick. Right down the middle. Tie ball game. Tigers and Bobcats. It has truly become a cat fight. Aubrey Medeiros picked up a lot of yards on that last.
38 in the second quarter to say catfight, Vince. I gave you a little bit more time.
Was there an office pool on that one?
There was a pool. I had third quarter. I had early third quarter.
Little squib kick. They do not want Wimberley to have it. Bullard just falls on it smartly. He does have 4.6 speed. Like, I don't think the coaches want him running the ball.
Good job. Fell down on the ball right at the 30-yard line.
But before we get a snap from the Buholtz Bobcats, our intelligent and always on-the-spot receiver, Mike McKnight.
Thanks, Vince. You can see Lake City's Columbia's philosophy so far is run, run, run. They run that triple option just about every play. They've yet to throw the ball on first down. It's either the quarterback, Jamie Williamson, Dion Crumeny, or Aubrey Medeiros running on the wing. I talked to some players before the game about that philosophy that says that's all we do. We just run that until we pop one open. Back to you guys.
Pop they did.
Yes, they did pop one, a big one. Yeah, we alluded to that earlier. They're just going to keep running the ball, and they're just going to try to outguess, make Buholtz guess what they're going to do. Hopefully Buholtz will be thinking they're going inside when they go outside, and vice versa, Vince.
Only 20 attempts passing in 3 games if you include the kickoff classic they played. To Doug Johnson under center. You can tell he's just itching to throw the ball. Hand off to Wimberley over the left tackle. Nice strong run. Picks up 8 yards for Demond Wimberley.
Good job by Wimberley. Did a good job of following his blockers right up through the hole there.
10 carries already for Mr. Wimberley. Diamond D has 30 yards.
Second and short. This is a good play to go ahead and try to pass deep possibly right here, Vince.
Always catches them by surprise. Hand off to Wimberley. Shakes a tackle by Tashay Everett. Looks like there might have been a clip or a hold. We'll wait for the official signal. The flag was thrown by the referee, Gerald Bars.
Anytime that backfield judge throws that flag and throws it at the line, it's kind of a good guess there. That's a hold, Buholtz.
Still waiting for confirmation of the signal. Holding against Buholtz.
Now instead of second and short, it's going to be second and long. Well, now they might pass the ball anyway.
Basically eliminating that great carry by Wimberley earlier. You won't notice a great variety of formations by the Buholtz Bobcats. They like to stick in that offset eye. Fakes the draw, then gives the draw. And they couldn't have drawn it up any better for the Columbia defense.
I kind of thought that he might pass the ball there because he went with a little fake like he did when he passed the ball that one time. But he handed it off.
Maybe he's been setting us up. They weren't very good fakes. Maybe they're setting up the defense for later. Now we'll get to see the good package, right? The Steve DeBerg package right here.
Exactly, right here.
4.5 minutes remaining in this half. Score's deadlocked at 14 all.
3rd and 11, they're putting a slot toward the short side of the field. Maybe we'll see Mitchell coming across the middle.
Or both long. Doug Johnson likes to throw long. Vontrell Mitchell, the pass was broken up. Kelvin Stewart back there, the 5'7", 150-pound junior. There's a look at him.
Kelvin Stewart, a good job there on the play. They've been kind of picking on him a little bit, possibly because of the fact that he is only 5'7". I know if he was on R.J. Anderson, I'd be trying to go to R.J. Anderson a lot. But once again, we've seen the Columbia defensive backs sure aren't very good at catching the ball. Possibly that's why they are playing.
That's why they're on defense.
That's why they're on defense.
Back deep to receive Jamil Bullock for the Tigers. And of course, is always back to punt, Brad McCants.
Looks like Columbia's really coming.
Yes, they are. Looked like the number 53 gave up a little bit there. Bullock trying to create some movement. He gets crushed. Tackle made by number 55, Bracha Kellum.
Running east and west. He actually lost a yard there. Running east and west. The coach will tell him when he gets to the sideline, son, I want you running north and south, not east and west.
And how appropriate that this field is actually lined up north and south. End zone to end zone.
Most fields are. Very, very few fields are east-west.
Ted Bullard also helping out on that tackle, chipping in on both sides of the ball. Two receivers very tight to the right, and there's still some confusion in the coverage. Crumity again.
A little confusion down there on the field. Crumity got a little gain about 3 yards there.
2nd and 7, 3.5 minutes remaining. This game is basically shaped up to what we touted it would be, a game between tailbacks, a lot of running. Second and 7. Williamson takes a snap. It's a deep handoff to Medeiros, who has another big gain, hit by Tony Smith. He'll get a first down. Aubrey Medeiros showing a lot of speed to that off tackle.
He came out there running behind the block of Jimmy Green, big number 63. He's 6 foot 208. He's a senior. He just ran right up his block. Got him all the way out there, got the first down. Good job. Medeiros has shown us a lot. We didn't hear a lot about him before the game, or the coaches didn't say much about him.
Talk was all Crumity.
Exactly. But he's doing a very good job so far tonight.
I've noticed that a lot of the coaches who come to Gainesville think we're going to leak information to the local teams, and I think we're going to have to go straighten that out.
They won't talk to us. They won't tell us anything.
We're digging up all the hard facts for you, the viewers here at Cox Cable 8. The hand is with you. Timeout by Columbia.
Williamson wasn't really sure what to do there. I think possibly Buholtz was lined up in a defense he wasn't expecting to see. He came up to the line, turned around, and looked at the coach.
Ron Jernigan to the left. The best receiver for Columbia, Kevin Mills, is out this evening with a shoulder injury. He has 4 catches so far this year for 50 yards. Won't be seeing him tonight.
I believe they're going to call Brad McCants for encroachment.
Lined up in the neutral zone?
Yes, he walked right up and put his foot right over the ball.
Defying the officials.
That is just mental mistakes that they're making tonight. That's when you walk up to that line, you have to look down and check where the ball is. McCants he just put his foot right past the line there. I believe that's what they called.
5 penalties, 45 yards for the Bobcats, and that one right after Coach Dean was trying to get the officials on his side. As far as we know, we don't have a field mic to get into that conversation and bring it home to you.
If there's one coach around here we could mic, I'd love to hear Coach Dean with the mic.
The stories you could tell.
The stories.
We'll get to that. We have a good George Dean story coming up for you in the second half. Please stay tuned. This is a good one. But back to action. 2nd and 2 for Columbia. Hand off to Crumity. No, he pulls it back in. Williamson on the keeper. Gets the first down easily to the 40-yard line. Columbia still moving the ball, looking to put another touchdown on the board before the half.
Good job by Williamson right there. They had the dive stuff. They had the pitch man covered. He kept it himself.
Who's on the clock up here? Let's go.
Having problems with the clock now. The referee
running now. They've run it down to 2 minutes.
Getting back to what I was saying, though, with Williams, he looked to be tippy-toeing almost, but he did get the first
Very
down.
tentative.
But he didn't seem like he wanted to be out there.
That could have been his first read call of the evening.
If it was a good
Back
job.
to pass. Very deep drop. That's got to be a screen, and look who's wide open. He's got 3 guys to beat. Crumity, nice cut. 8 yards on the screen pass. That was a beautiful call.
That was a very unique screen pass in the fact that usually when you throw it out there, you have linemen in front of you. Crumity ran past his lineman, but he was wide open, and Williamson did a good job of getting the ball on out to him. Good job by the sophomore.
Buholtz defense has been seeing dead red. They've been just coming, knowing to stop the run, and they see a ball, they're just going to go after it. That's a baseball term, Kevin, dead red. I apologize for juxtaposing these sports on you. Mr. Football Analyst.
Dead red.
Dead red. You're looking for a fastball.
Dead red.
Back to action. 2nd and 2. Handoff.
Good job right there. David Sanders. He stuffed the blocker and then forced the running back just to fall down there. He just did a good job. Got up in there, got his nose down, hit him.
Now the clock is running. 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining. Columbia doesn't seem to be in any kind of hurry either.
And they've taken Crumity off the field there. You'd think, actually he's going down to a knee. I guess he may be tired. You'd think they'd want him in here in this situation right here. 3rd and 3 from the 34-yard line.
Airborne on the handoff. Might just be playing for the field goal, but they're way out of range, I think, for Billy Jennings.
And there's a timeout by Columbia. Surprised we didn't see it after that last call. Medeiros looked very tentative there. He kind of tippy-toed up to the line. That kind of surprised me. He hadn't been running like that tonight. Crumney went out of the play the last time. Kind of surprised me. He went over there and immediately took a knee. Maybe he is tired. Maybe he's hurt or something. I don't know.
Talking about Medeiros, he's been picking up a lot of yards off tackle and the wide stuff. Right. Down the middle, he's not having much success.
Coach Dean once again wanting to confer with the referees. He's saying, this is what he's saying. He's saying if you put green peppers in your hamburgers and you wait till the very end to put the sauce on, they're much better.
Cooking with McKelvin here on Cox Cable 8. Boy, don't you just love timeouts when you're watching high school football?
Now, they don't always talk about football. Look, he's kind of smiling. He may be saying...
Really? Green peppers. Forget the onions. That's what he's telling them.
Or he may be saying, Tennessee is not that good. Georgia's having a down year.
Go up a channel, you'll find out, right?
The former Gator.
Save that story, Kevin. Save that story.
Little fog starting to roll into the stadium here.
Fog?
Up there, see the light?
It is kind of hazy. You're right.
Thank you.
It is very humid out here. If you probably saw us during the stand-up, we were dripping wet after playing some flag football before this game. Play action pass. Nice form, but right off the hands of the tight end, Todd Sandlin, the backup, number 44, could not hold on. And you got to question the play calling at that point of the game.
I don't know. It wasn't a bad play, and he was wide open. If Williamson gets the ball to him, he makes the catch, Vince. Also, he had Eddie Norris open. He had beat the defensive back, but he was down at about the 5-yard line. I don't know if Williamson rolling left, being a right-hander, could have got it all the way into the end zone. Actually wasn't that bad of a play. Just
the execution was bad.
Exactly.
Let's see how Buholtz executes here. They got 3 wide receivers, no tight end. You normally don't see that out of these guys. Inside handoff to Rembert. Wimberly throws a big block. Try to get out of bounds, but he won't. Not a smart play by Rembert. He gets into Columbia territory, though.
Hey, I tell you what, Vince, great job right there by Vontrell Mitchell. He came in and had a great block. He took number 41, Jason Lang, right out of that play and sprung Wimberly for the run there.
42 seconds, an eternity left.
I tell you what, Columbia was really looking for the pass there. They had 5 defensive backs in there, and we're playing the linebackers way off the ball. Good call there by George Dean.
A nickel set in the high school football?
Yes, they did.
I believe you. I just don't see that a lot. I guess when you have Doug Johnson on the other side of the ball, you got to prepare for those things.
That was a good play right there, nice little draw. But I think I would expect now for the rest of these 42 seconds to see pass plays.
To the high jumper, and of course an excellent soccer player also, R.J. Anderson. He split to the short side of the field. Kevin McKelvin trying to sneak over, looking for the play call. First and 10. Johnson back deep to pass. Good pass protection. Deep over the middle. It's right through the hands of the safety, Chris Thompson. He's not the starter. It usually is Terry Calloway. The junior weighs 170 pounds, but he's out. He had his knee scoped earlier in the week, so Thompson has to step in, and that kind of cost him there.
Well, once again, we're seeing why these guys that are on defense are on defense and they're not on the offense.
Second and 10. Anderson, he's kind of nudging Johnson on the shoulder saying, hey, I'm on the left. Throw it up for me. I can beat this guy. I've done it already. Of course, what RJ isn't telling him is he's also missed 3 passes coming his way. Johnson, fake draw, kind of slows up the line. Not much. Not a pretty pass. Johnson is off this evening, only completing 2 of 9 passes.
I tell you what, I'm kind of surprised. I believe Buholtz has used all 3 of their timeouts, and they're going across the middle. Now, if they have a timeout left, that's not a bad play. Go across the middle, call the timeout or whatever. But might want to look for some out patterns here. Of course, right now it's 3rd down. Main thing will be right here just to get the first down. You don't worry about other stuff. You get up on the ball and throw it down or something. I need my glasses, Vince. It's getting kind of fuzzy out here.
Don't mind the haze. Johnson, little hand. Uh-oh, he steps out wisely. Nice footwork, throws into a crowd. R.J. Anderson can't come up with it. 4th down for the Bobcats.
Once again,
26 seconds remaining.
Sorry, Vince. Once again, what I was talking about, they got 2 receivers right there and 3 defensive backs. 2 receivers in the exact same place. I don't know if these guys are running wrong routes, but I'm pretty sure that's not where you want your guys to be.
Doug Johnson coming back into the game. Looks like they're going to go for it, and why not at this point?
Yeah, 26 seconds. Why not go for it? 4th down.
Decent field position. You're not going to give up a great spot on the field to the Tigers.
R.J. Anderson maybe here on a little post corner. Oh.
Inside handoff to Rembert. He's wrapped up. Taché Everett, who we highlighted at the beginning of the game, is a stand-up for the defensive line from the left defensive tackle spot. Makes a huge tackle, giving the ball back to the Tigers, and they got a shot to put this one in. 20 seconds left.
Taché Everett was going to have nothing to do with that. The senior, 266 defensive tackle there. Good job. Knifed right on through past the center. Good job right there.
266. I'd hate to invite him to dinner. Wouldn't get much for myself.
They got some big boys. You look out there on that offensive line. John Geiger, 6'4", 298. That's a hoss.
At half left. Then the second quarter, R.J. Anderson got a 7-yard pass from Doug Johnson, and Mitchell got the 2-point conversion catch. Then Deion Crumedy, a 39-yard run for a touchdown, tied it at 14. It was a battle between the tailbacks.
It is a battle of tailbacks. You called that early in the week, Vince, and it's proven to be true so far. I tell you what, that little interview right there with Curtis Rowe, very proud to hear him say that they're not worried about Santa Fe right now. They're focused on the job at hand. If that's the fact, if the whole team thinks like Curtis Rowe does, they have a very good chance tomorrow night. It's important for them not to look ahead to that big Santa Fe game.
Brad McCants to kick off for Buholtz. Of course, Columbia won the opening kickoff and decided to defer the second half, and they will receive. The famous shift position. Here comes the wave of Buholtz tacklers. This one's very short. Very, very short. Confusion in the recovery. And it's caught by number 14, Eddie Norris.
That's a good job right there. Remember when we were playing, when the Buholtz were playing east side, the east side receivers were not calling for the fair catch. A couple of them got drilled. Obviously, Lake City has seen the films, and they know better, and the coaches instructed every player to fair catch those balls. We've only seen one that was not fair caught, and that was kicked deep down to the 15-yard line.
So Columbia with James Woodson under center, the sophomore quarterback, ready to put the Tigers back in the lead. And off to Crumedy again, who goes absolutely nowhere. Big defensive push by the interior, mostly Savalas Lee, number 50.
Savalas Lee, we've been calling his name a lot tonight, Vince. He's doing a very good job. He's getting a lot of good penetration in there tonight.
2nd and 10. What kind of adjustments, if you were Coach Dean, would you have made at halftime defensively?
Defensively, I would just try to look more. I mean, obviously, they're not going to pass the ball. I would load the line, make sure that someone is assigned to that pitch man, and just keep my linebackers coming in there and stuffing those AB gaps.
Hand off to Crumedy again. Nice cut outside. Remember, he's a former tailback playing fullback. Caught from behind by Shane Gossinger. He picks up. We're going to give him 18 yards on the carry.
Good run right there by Crumedy. I tell you what, though, very good job. I know it sounds funny, but good job by Buholtz defense. The man had the quarterback and a man had the pitch man. The only guy that got away from there was Crumedy, and he's the important one because he had the ball.
26 rushes, 197 yards already for the Tigers. Not for Deion Crumedy, no, for the entire team.
He's a monster.
They have spread the ball out a lot. Pitch again. Here's Medeiros. Needs to get out wide and caught from behind. A fine play. Number 22, Bubba Key, the junior, 5'9", only 143 pounds, supporting the run.
Medeiros was held up a little bit. It took that pitch a while to get there. For some reason, Williamson didn't really have a lot on it. They just kind of floated out there. He had to wait on it a little bit before he could get going toward the line of scrimmage.
Buholtz's stats don't look too impressive at halftime. That's because they had that wonderful field position. 7 3-yard drives aren't going to do much for your stats. Hand off to Medeiros. He picks up maybe 2. We'll give him 3rd and 9.
Good job right there. Graham Johnson just reached his big paw in there and got a hold of a little bit of jersey and pulled him on down. Good strength right there by the junior.
3rd and long here for Columbia. I don't think their offensive package has a lot of plays designed for this kind of a down and distance. Could we look for that screenplay again that works so well to Crumity?
Tarek Payton coming in there late. Tarek Payton lined up as an outside linebacker. That's not something we've seen a lot of.
No. Back to pass. Nice arm by Williamson. His receiver falls down. That ball had some zing on it. Looks pretty accurate. And unfortunately, Ron Jernigan right there, the junior, couldn't keep his feet.
Exactly right. And Vince, I don't know if you saw Eddie Norris, number 14, was wide open right at the first down stick. And he was open as well as Ron Jernigan. Ron Jernigan was the outside receiver, and Norris was the inside receiver. He chose to go to Norris. Norris fell down, unfortunately. But you're right. That was a good pass by the sophomore.
Definitely had some zing on the ball. For the 4th time tonight, Matt Carlson will punt, and for the 2nd time, it's blocked. Jeff Carter, he picks it up, and he will run. Jeff, we're looking for the spot. Touchdown! Jeff Carter on the 31-yard punt return for the touchdown.
Great job.
They will not outrun him.
Great job right there. I tell you what, it was funny. Sabalasui was running down there. He was celebrating at the 20-yard line. If he would have turned around and blocked those guys, he could have walked on in there. They made it a little interesting by getting him at the goal line, but no way. Jeff Carter got on in there for the touchdown.
Forget offense and defense. This game has exhibited that if you have a good special teams, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
Exactly. 2 big plays, right? 3 big plays for Buholtz tonight for the special teams.
A blocked punt earlier by Dave Sanders, and then one by Jeff Carter, who picks it up himself and takes it in.
Let's see now. They had troubles on their last attempt at an extra point. Let's see how McCants handles this one.
Looked like it was pretty well, right down the middle. So Buholtz 21, Columbia 14.
So starting out the same way the first half started out, kind of, where they just jumped right out there with a big special teams play.
Pardon us if we're laughing for absolutely no reason. Well, there's other stories we could tell, including that George Dean story. Maybe I'm pumping that up too much. We'll get that one in there.
Big Patrick in the house.
I want to take this moment to point out that Gainesville High School has a winning record. Last night on this field, Thursday night, they beat Bradford 22-20,
yes.
And they even did it with a comeback, down 14-2 in the 3rd quarter. My hat's off, my tie. I'm just saluting them for an incredible effort under Coach Ed James.
Coach Ed James has got the Hurricanes blowing or flying or whatever the Hurricanes would do there over there for GHS. And so what are they now, Vince? You had that good stat the other night on Sports Week.
Okay, they've, this is going to be a tough one. They've won 4 of their last 6 ball games after losing 19 of their previous 21. And if I might add, Mike McKnight picked a shutout 28-0 Bradford for all you who tune into Sports Week regularly. And he's got a giggle out of that one. We'll go down to the field and get his observation next. But wait! Joe Bullock takes back the kick to the 35-yard line.
Maybe we're not going to go down to the field, Vince.
Oh, we'll give him a chance. He's afraid to pick up the mic. There it is. He wants to rebut. But I think he has something to tell us about the Lake City Columbia huddle. We've been mentioning the strange size. And, Mike, you have something else to tell us.
That's right. First of all, Kevin, you're using so many weird terms. The A and B gaps. What are those? Anyway, the Lake City huddle, they line up in an assembly line formation, and they deliver the signs all the way down the field. They've been doing that as long as Coach Skip Wolf has been there. I asked them how long that's been. They said, we can't remember that far back. Back to you guys.
Wolf's been there for 8 years, 3 as a head coach, and of course the players there aren't going to remember the back that far. They're out of there at 4.
Obviously, our correspondent Mike McKnight's never played football before and does not know the terms A and B gap.
I think it's just one of the many football dialects that stretch across this great nation of ours. 2nd down and 8. Hand off to the deep set. Tailback falls down. There's a flag in the play. I think it's going to be a hold when it's in there in the box.
We were talking about these teams, and you're talking about Gainesville, how much they've won. Something ridiculous. that we heard was that since 1969, Columbia has won 76% of their games. That is an outstanding record right there.
I think in this day and times, that still might be safe to call a dynasty. The call was a hold by Gerald Bards, the referee.
I'm sorry, Vince, let me correct myself. 73% of their games since 1969.
That'll do.
That is Miami-esque type numbers right there.
So second and Newberry to go. They run the option. It's played well by the line. Can't wrap him up. Bubba Key can't wrap him up, but it looks like number 54 was in on the tackle, and his name is, I'm taking a long time, Graham Johnson. Grambo is what they call him.
Grambo, good job there by the quarterback. He got hit. He didn't go down. We talked about how small he was, but he got hit at the line by Bubba Key, and he just kept going and turned a gain out of what should have been a loss. There's big Coach Dean. Coach getting his defense into shape, telling them where to go, telling them if they play good, they might get them one of those big burgers with the green peppers and onion and oregano.
The burgers here the Buholtz is putting together are very good. Crumity on the delay. Tony Smith probably stopped about another 20 yards of field position. But regardless, Crumity can't pick up the first down. It's 4th and 6.
Excuse my talking of the burgers, but they're cooking them right below us, and we keep catching that aroma. And they were so good that Vince had to have one at halftime.
You know, we can't get any air or ventilation in here normally, but we're getting the smell of that burger, and I think it's very ironic, and it's just not fair. What circle of Dante's Inferno are we in now? Fake punt, and guess what? It's a drop punt. It's still loose. Tarek Payton recovers. Great field position for Columbia, and I really think that call is going to come back to hunt Coach Wolf.
Eric Fisher on the recovery. He's very happy, jumping all over his teammates on the sideline. Number 51 there. They tried to run the exact same play Buholtz ran on the east side, and he just didn't execute it right. The guy dropped the ball. I tell you what, that's just a gutsy call, calling that from your own 37-yard line. That is just as gutsy as you get right there.
If we can go into the archives, you got to remember that Buholtz football was on 4th and 44 from their own 37 against Eastside and scored them. So it's all execution.
This is true.
Rembert in motion to the wide side of the field. Johnson, draw play, big rush from behind. He's got a man hanging off his back, and he still delivers about a 35, 40-yard throw. Incomplete.
Rembert had stopped on his pattern. He had done about a 15-yard curl, and the ball was thrown past him. He had to pick it back up again. I believe, though, he was out of bounds before the ball was thrown to him.
I don't think Doug Johnson's fooling anybody with his fake handoffs at all.
No, that might be something that Doug has got to work on. But remember, again, he is only a sophomore, and he's got a lot of time left here at Buholtz to become a very fine quarterback. He's got a lot of good potential. He's got the tools, height, weight. He could be a very good one before it's all over.
Sweep to Wimberley, picks up a nice 4 yards. Good pursuit by the Columbia defense. Didn't look like they were in the right spot at the beginning of the play, but they got there in a hurry.
Columbia looks a little fired up. Maybe Coach said something to him, got him a little fired up. They're all headbutting and slapping after that play. That's something we haven't seen yet. Maybe the coach told him it's up to them if they're going to win this game.
We're going back to Doug Johnson, only being a sophomore. If recent history tells you anything, he won't be here for very long. Travis McGriff took off to P.K. Young after 1991. Clifton Gordon has been in and out of Buholtz.
Yeah, I said something.
Great arms.
I said something to Coach Dean about Travis McGriff, and he said, if you see Travis, you tell him I could use a good Z. He would not be playing quarterback if he was at Buholtz this year. He would be in the Z formation. Of course, at PK, not only does he play quarterback, but he plays running back. He plays wide receiver. But right now, we're going to go down to the field, and we're going to go down there with the Brian Greenspoon. Brian?
Okay, Vincent Kevin, I'm here with Jeff Carter, the junior linebacker for the Buholtz Bobcats. Blocked the last punt. Jeff, your special teams tonight has just been phenomenal. I heard Coach Dean say, they put in a new strategy for for the Tigers from Columbia. What are you guys doing against them?
We're just doing our normal thing. I told myself I was going to try to block that punt, and just blocked it.
He's out of breath here on the sidelines. He rumbled and bumbled into that end zone for the big touchdown, putting the Cats ahead. Good luck with these special teams. Columbia is just not having a good night. Back to you, Vincent Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
21-14 is the score of Buholtz in the lead. Fake handoff again.
Wide open.
Rembert wide open over the middle. They finally are able to pick something out of that blitz coverage.
That was a good job right there by Rembert. They just ran a simple little seam pattern right down the middle of the field. He was wide open.
This next play call is Chicago right.
Chicago right.
If it's a short play like that, short call like that, it's probably a run, right? Pass plays always have these huge elaborate names like Z, post corner, stuff like that.
Sometimes, yeah. It's probably just a little, all right, you see how they have the fullback lined over in the wing. He's going to probably lead and probably the tailback. Oh, it's a pass.
Right through R.J. Anderson's hands. He had a great game against Eastside. Ever since then, he's been quiet against Santa Fe and kind of quiet tonight. They're throwing the ball his way a lot, but he's not coming up with the plays.
Well, they got a hard man coverage on him. That is just a simple little quick slant. Did a good job by the cornerback. Came right up on the play. Give credit to the cornerback there. He did a good job. Anderson was not wide open. He hit him as soon as the ball came there.
Corey Williams, we were talking about R.J. Anderson so much, but Corey Williams has to be singled out for an incredible night of man coverage. At this level, you don't see a lot of man.
Nope.
But he is doing a great job out there against a man who is definitely got him outmatched, 6'4" to 6 foot. They're going right back to him. Actually, it's a screen pass. Nice hands by Wimberly, last year's leading receiver for the Bobcats. He gets out of bounds to about the 10-yard line. So that's 3rd and 5 for the Bobcats.
That pass
Big play here. This could be the nail in the coffin.
Sorry, Vince. That pass right there was actually a lateral. He actually threw that ball behind him. And if Wimberly fumbles that ball, which he almost did, that would have been a live ball. But he did a good job to bring it in and get on out there to the outside. Johnson getting the play from Dean. Might want to look for, if they take Anderson to the right side, they got that whole right side to work with at the fade, but they're not, so never mind.
Next to be reading tea leaves on Cox Cable 8. Wide to the right is Niel Mingo. Hard cadence got him. This might be a first down.
That was a good call. Come up there, give a hard count, get the penalty, and you get a first down. I believe that should be enough for the first down.
They've shown all evening that Columbia is very itchy to get into that backfield. A lot of encroachment calls.
Even if this is not a first down, it's going to be 3rd and very short, a very much more favorable position than Buholtz was just in at 3rd and a long 5.
They're going to bring in the sticks. Gerald Barr's waving for him, and he's calling the timeout. I'd like to take advantage of this moment also to mention that Mike McKnight during Sports Week picked Columbia to win this game. And I picked the win, but he doesn't have his headset on right now, so he is completely oblivious that I'm picking on him again. Greenspan's got a smile on his face, though. He knows I'm picking on him. First down, Bobcats back to action. Checking into the game for Columbia, number 72. It's Fleming, 235 pounds, Glenn Fleming. So they're bringing in the beef to stop the goal line attack.
Yes, Fleming is a big boy, all 270 of him. He's very big.
3 tight ends.
They put Fleming right where that heavy jumbo's lined up at, too.
Wimberly off tackle, keeps his feet. He goes in standing.
Good Lord.
Great strength by DeMond Wimberly from 5 yards out. Buholtz Bobcats up 27-14.
Well, that right there was a great run. That is as good as a high school run as you're going to see. He just kept his legs going, kept working it. Good job, DeMond Wimberly. They're going to attempt the extra points again with McCants. This last two. First one he missed. Last one was kind of shaky, although it went in.
It's through there. It looks like it's barely squeaking in the right side.
I tell you what, the last two times, when Johnson gets that ball down, he's not spinning it, and McCants is kicking the threads. Now, that is not something that you want to do.
That hurts.
You want to get the threads away from you so you get a truer kick.
You don't even want a seam on your foot, do you? You want the open, just the straight left?
Well, you want the seam facing straight ahead. That will give the ball a truer flight. If the seams are to the right, it kind of tends to push the ball right a little bit. If they're to the left, left. He'll push it left a little bit. He is kicking the seam, actually, which is not exactly what you want to do.
Kind of like baseball hitting with the label down. Still got the green going the right way, but it's just not right. I think that'll be enough baseball references for this evening. 28-14. Buholtz in a commanding lead, and I think it all comes back from that fake punt that didn't work out right for...
Fake punt hurt. That call really surprised me there. That's not something you really expect to see. Maybe that's why they called it, but...
You don't do that kind of stuff when you're down. Fair catch called by Bullock.
That right there is exactly what they want. High, right about to the 25-yard line. They caused the fair catch. Good job by McCants there. Now, Vince, if you do want to talk baseball, I'll be more than happy to talk about my hot Atlanta Braves.
That bandwagon's warming up right out back.
No. I used to take grief. I used to take grief in high school when they were losing 100 games a year.
Back in the Bruce Eggs Benedict era?
Back when Biff Pocorobo was behind the plate.
Oh, that's going way back. Hand off to Crumity up the middle there, bread and butter. Only picked up about a yard.
Biff Pocorobo.
So it's 2nd and 9 in the third quarter with just under 4 minutes remaining.
Okay. They're bringing that slot back out here to the right again, Vince.
Back to pass is Williamson. He's got a nice arm. Picked off by... It is Harris. Mike Harris' little brother Derek coming up with a big play.
He hit Derek right in the 6.
Right in the 6.
It was a good pass. He had a lot of zip on it, but he just threw it past his receiver. Derek Harris was in just the right spot. This right here could, if Buholtz scores right here, I think they'll put the game out of reach, Vince.
Derek Harris, brother of Mike Harris, as we've said before, the UF recruit, also the 1991 Cox Cable Defensive Player of the Year. Make sure to go back and look at the old tapes and check that one out.
Get right on that, Vince.
I am on that. Vontrell Mitchell and R.J. Anderson split to the left. Offside I for Buholtz. Fake handoff. It slowed up the line. Anderson was open, but he just fell down. It's Columbia's ball. And Corey Williams comes up big again.
And finally, a DB makes the catch.
Yes.
He barely made the catch, but at least he did make the catch. He almost dropped it. You can't really fault Doug Johnson on that pass. It was a pretty good pass. R.J. Anderson just fell down there, and he couldn't help out any to possibly bat the ball away or to catch it or something like that.
There's the assembly line huddle that Mike McKnight told us about.
Facing the coaches, maybe they can see those coaches signaling in the plays.
All three of them.
All three of them.
Pitch to the tailback. That's Bullock. Nice gain for Bullock. Probably 9 yards in that carry.
I tell you what, interesting, Vince, about that last play. The whole first half, Coach Dean was complaining to the referees about the defensive backs holding his receiver, especially Anderson. During halftime, he went out there, he left his team early just to go talk to the referees about it. All the coaches for Buholtz were pretty mad about it. Right there, this may have something to do with it. Anderson may have been trying to cut away from it or something.
Coach Dean's not a shy man. In fact, he's been known to use a gun once every while. Bring out the story. Come on, give us the story. Hand off to Crumity. Oh, he breaks loose. First down for the Tigers at the 31-yard line. Come on, Kevin.
Coach Dean played at the University of Florida. At the same time, my brother-in-law, Bob Stevens, played there. Coach now at my alma mater of Clearwater Countryside High School. And after this play, I'll finish the story. Although I don't want to. I'll finish it.
Too late now. The feet are in the water.
I know.
Wing to the right. There's a fumble on the snap. It's loose and picked up by the Bobcats. So we've seen 3 turnovers in the span of the last 2 minutes. That recovery was made by number 54. Graham Johnson. Grambo comes up with another big play.
The shortest pass in football, Vince, the snap, and he just mishandled it. That is something that is very important. You got to be able to handle that snap. The ball just shot right up to his hands, like maybe it looked like he wasn't expecting it. Something that the quarterback's got to be aware of when that ball's coming to him like that. In the game for Buholtz right now, number 80, Ben Bear, son of longtime Florida employee Bo Bear.
Ted Bullard on the counter picks up about 3 yards and is pushed rudely backwards. Tackle number 27, Sam Little, the Mike linebacker. Or, of course, Mike Williams is the Sam linebacker. So Sam is Mike, Mike is Sam for the Columbia defense. It's a interesting little combination.
Vince, at halftime, I saw Bo Bear down there. He's here watching his son. Long time with the Gators. He was a recruiting coordinator when he was a coach down in Pinellas County. Then he helped recruit Pinellas County. Then he was in charge of recruiting. He was in charge of the Gator room where they bring the recruits. Been in Florida for a long time. Big Gator fan. And he said if his son's in there, he's going to be in there to block. And he's in there blocking.
With the unbalanced line to the left side, twin tackles. Wesley Perkle did not know the snap count. So you said George Dean went to UF with your brother-in-law.
Yes, and as the story goes, Coach Dean clarified it with me before the game. He and a couple buddies had gone out hunting, and I can't remember the name of the rifle. He told me, and I forgot now. But anyway, it was jammed. It was logged, and he said it was jammed, and his buddies that he was with said, no, it's not jammed. To make a long story short, they hit the gun to unjam it, and there was a bullet left in the gun. Blew a big hole in the roof in their dorm room at Young Hall.
Which is still there today.
But he said they covered it up real quick, and I asked him, I said, could you hear it for about a week? And he said we were darn lucky that we didn't blow our heads off. But a little close encounter with death there. Something to look back now and laugh on. I'm sure at the time it wasn't too funny with their ears ringing and a big
and hall monitors just scrambling
and a big hole in the ceiling. But he got through it. He's a good guy though.
He's got a problem right now though. It's 2nd and 20 for his Bobcats with 13 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's getting down to money time for both teams. Luckily, Buholtz is up by 2 touchdowns. And they've gone to the 2 tight end set that they've made so famous over the past few years. Fake handoff Wimberly. All kinds of people open, but didn't look like Perkle ran the right pattern. He broke it off short. Johnson threw long. Incomplete.
Perkle ran just a simple little 10-yard out pattern. Don't know if he ran the wrong pattern or if Johnson maybe thought he was running a different pattern or Johnson just threw a bad pass. We don't know. He was open for a second there, though. Kind of surprising when they had no receivers that they passed the ball. Weren't really looking for that.
Third and a long way, 18 yards. Third quarter is about to expire. R.J. Anderson to the bottom of the field. Vontrell Mitchell to the top. Both guys made big plays for touchdowns this evening. Draw play to Wimberly. They've been setting this one up all night. He was slowed down by Mike Williams. He got him by the scruff of the neck. Wimberly finally taken down by Jason Lang, and that will be the end of the third quarter. Buholtz up by 2 touchdowns. The score 28-14. See you in the fourth quarter.
Northgate, your auto center for the ultimate driving experience. For the practical, Northgate Volkswagen.
And bye.
We're back, fourth quarter, Cox K-Blades Game of the Week. Vince Regan, Kevin McKelvin, and the rest of the Cox K-Blades staff. 28-14, Buholtz pretty much in a commanding lead. And Buholtz wanted to run the fake punt on 4th and 11.
Well, that kind of ruins it right there.
You just showed your cards, Coach Dean.
That kind of ruins it right there. Look at all the coaches got their hands on their head on the Buholtz sidelines. Oh, that stinks. That stinks. Look, they are not happy.
Coach Paulson, smile.
Oh, Coach Gunnar Paulson there. He's not very happy about that.
Back deep to receive for Columbia, Jimmy O'Bullock. 5'9", 172 sophomore scat back. That thing took a long time to get back. That's blocked. Boy, has special teams been the story tonight or what?
Big recovery.
Blocked by number 43, Kalen Jackson, who is having a year
Exactly.
that a lot of recruiters better start paying attention to.
Big recovery, too, by Tashay Everett. We've mentioned his name a lot tonight, Vince. Exactly. Kalen Jackson, the coach said before the game, I said, is he being recruited by a lot of schools? Is he being heavily recruited? They said, no, not yet. So they said he's got to earn it, and he's having a very good year so far. I think he's earning a lot.
Get the press releases started quickly. It's a big place.
Maybe Bo Bear is seeing him and can report back.
Fumble. It's in the A-B gap.
No, that would be the B gap.
It's picked up about a yard. Special teams have been a huge part of this game. If this game stays true to form, Columbia just had the block punt. Let's look at Buholtz. They've had two block punts, a 93-yard return for a touchdown, and they stopped a fake punt by Columbia. Now Columbia's got a block punt. Maybe they can get back in this game with a big play like that. Peyton moved early on the nose, pitched to Bullock. He's got nowhere to go.
It's very hard for an option team to come back when they're down this big. You need to be able to throw the ball.
Brian Greenspoon's on the field with another in-depth look at this game. Brian.
Okay, Vincent, Kevin, kicking game really been a problem for both teams tonight. Columbia had 2 block punts, and now Buholtz just being shot down with 1 block punt there. Brad McCants also had a missed extra point. The story with the Buholtz kicking game is their sophomore transfer from Orange Park, Blair Morgan, who will be their starter, has had some problems academically and been suspended disciplinary for some discipline reasons. And we will see him back in the next few weeks, but that's really been the problem for the Buholtz team. We'll see how these kicking games go the rest of the night. Been pretty poor so far. Back to you, Vincent Kevin.
Brian Greenspoon pulling no punches, saying the kicking game has been poor.
Obviously, a lot of teams, unfortunately or fortunately, are very much affected after that very first 6-week period. Some guys mess up and cannot play the rest of the season. Other guys who had messed up in the previous semester are able to come back and join the team.
An end-over-end kick. Harris wants to pick it up. He got a good bounce. He's at his own 10. Makes some nice moves, get up to about the 6. Saves his team from being real close to his own goal line.
I tell you what, and right there, Buholtz got back there and pushed the punter. It wasn't called. They didn't hit him really. They just kind of pushed him. But sometimes some referees will get a little picky, and but I think it's a good no call right there.
The Columbia band is making a lot of noise for the first time this evening. Perhaps they sense that momentum shift.
The bingo band.
The what?
We were referring before the game, we were saying how much they look like LSU.
Oh, the bingo band. I got you.
Bingo band. Not the band, the team. The colors.
Yes. Wimberly stuffed. Tried to go on the left tackle.
Sam Little just reached up. He had him down around the ankles, reached up, grabbed the back of his jersey, and just pulled him back.
Littles was on the ground. That takes a lot of strength.
Good strength by Sam Little there.
Those uniforms do look remarkably like LSU.
Here comes Shane Goslin back in the game.
I remember I mentioned that a couple years ago when most of the guys on the LSU team were majoring in general studies. They had a real young team a couple years ago. But they're looking pretty sharp so far this year.
Yeah, that big surprise win over Mississippi State at Starkville last year. That's something that even the Gators couldn't pull off last year. And that was when we didn't have a quarterback controversy.
Fodder for more analysis later. Analysis is the word I'm looking for. Thank you very much. Flag on the play. We've seen a lot of hankies. Dead ball foul. Delay a game against Buholtz. And they want the clock to run, but not quite that much.
Right now, Buholtz looking at a 2nd and 15. That would tend to change the play call a little bit.
Yes.
Although they have showed that they like to run the ball on 2nd and long, try to maybe set up the draw to Wimberly.
Draw play, long a staple of the long yardage situation for Buholtz, and he doesn't go anywhere. To Shea Everett once again, using his ballast to hold up the offensive line of Buholtz. It's another great tackle.
Looked like Columbia was looking for that draw play too, although it wasn't a draw play, it's just a simple little handoff. But they were looking for Wimberly coming on up the middle there.
3rd third down. This could be a big play. If Columbia can hold the Buholtz down near their own goal line, they'll get great field position to get back in this game within 7. But unfortunately, as Steve Miller once said, time keeps on slipping away.
Keeps on ticking. A Berman-esque rock and roll metaphor by play-by-play man Vince Regan. What's going to happen next, Vince? Are they going to rumble, bumble, stumble?
We've already heard that 3 times tonight. No more. Big handoff to Wimberly. Went the wrong way. Johnson running for his life. And his life ends. Joey Wilson from the defensive end spot.
Big Johnson not showing world-class speed right there on that sprint out there. Wilson,
sophomore.
Yeah, Wilson did a good job, though.
Everything I say about Dick Johnson tonight, he's just a sophomore.
Well, I mean, you know, not too many sophomores come up and start at varsity, especially when you start talking about 4A and 5A schools and 3A. Now, sometimes you see that with the smaller schools just because they don't have a lot of guys on their team. So, I mean, it's a real compliment to Doug Johnson that he is starting for a team that has been ranked in the top 10 and right now is just barely out of the top 10. Last poll. I'm sorry.
That's right. McCants back to punt. It's off the side of his foot. It's coming up near us.
I got it.
38 yard to the 38-yard line. That's only a 28-yard punt.
Had good height. Had good height on it, though.
Great hang time. Actually, it was only about a 23-yarder. Look at the stat, man. How long was that punt, Marcus? 23 yards. Thank you, Marcus.
Getting back to what I was saying, Buholtz in the last poll ranked 13th in Class 4A.
Tied for 12th, aren't they, with that team that Eastside destroyed?
Oh, yes, Sanford Seminole. They are. Excuse me, I'm very sorry.
That's okay.
And we see at number 10, Ocala Vanguard, Buholtz's next opponent in their first district game of the year.
Quick slant to the tight end. That's Breon Thomas. Haven't said his name a lot tonight. Look at him fight for the yardage. Great effort by Breon.
Tell you what, Breon, he can drag some people now. 6'2", 230.
And still growing.
And he is only a sophomore, folks. He is only look at the size. He's only a sophomore. He's only going to get bigger and faster.
And he's filling in for a tight end that went to the University of Louisville, Antonio Bradwell.
Exactly.
Who was a big recruit out of the area. So he's going to fill in nicely for the next 3 years.
They just reload, Vince. They just reload.
Strange little motion here by the tailbacks for Columbia. But here's what they're waiting for. Quick pass in there to Bullock.
Very interesting, Vince. On the last play when they ran the motion man over there, he just kept running. He ran all the way to the Buholtz sidelines. He didn't turn up field or anything. He just kind of ran over there and stopped, jogged back to the huddle. That time, maybe that was setting that up. That time he came over there and he turned up field a little bit, and he was open. And here comes a water break.
3rd and 5, 6 minutes left in this game. And the water has hit the field. Well, thank God it's the only water we've seen tonight because we were expecting rain the way this place looked before kickoff.
It looked like that storm probably just passed us a little bit to the north because Lord knows we saw a lot of lightning over there. Wouldn't have minded a little rain to maybe cool things down a little bit. As we've alluded to tonight, it is very warm.
It is so humid out here, but we don't mind. We're having fun watching some high school football, and boy, will we have fun next week. A clash of 2 completely different styles. Eastside with their 3-back conservative attack. Santa Fe run and shoot. That's next week, September 25th, 7:30 p.m. Brought to you by our new sponsor, Northgate Auto Center. Eastside is not very conservative. They'll motion out of it. They'll go into different things, but they still put a lot of points on the board.
Vince Regan pulling no punches, calling Eastside's offense conservative.
Hey, conservative doesn't mean you can't score.
They scored 42 points last week against a top-ranked Sanford Seminole team.
And I think the big story of that game is how Eastside defense, it's going to cover 4 wide receivers. Because we've seen Williams and Oates get burned deep a lot, especially by Buholtz team. Inside handoff to Crummy, the quick one. We got a flag on the play as he tries to get to about the 20, can't make it, 25.
I got money on some kind of encroachment.
Okay.
No, or something. Lord knows that's been the popular call of the night. Actually, I think they're going to call it illegal motion. Illegal motion is the call.
Both teams have been flagged for 9 penalties this evening. So it seems when Cox Cable 8's in the house, laundry is flying everywhere.
an uncanny amount of penalties for just one game. I tell you, and the last time we had Buholtz, they had a lot of penalties. This is something I'm sure Coach Dean will want to talk to his players about Monday when they go over films. Once again, the clock was not rolling. And the Buholtz coach is yelling at the official. They want that clock to roll.
Screen pass. Look at that. Oh! Bubba Key had 6 in his eyes. The ball went right through the hands.
Right about now, Bubba Key's doing a little end zone dance for us. If he almost makes that catch right there. Good job on defense, though. Bubba Key.
Can't do that without the ball, unfortunately. 4th down, Columbia. They pretty much need to go for it at this point, and they will.
They need to go for it. They need to score, kick an onside kick, and get the ball back again. They're in a desperate time right now with only 5:44 left.
He's going to follow the fullback. He's got the first down. That's a great call. Picks up a lot of extra yards. In fact, James Williamson is having almost an entire season on the ground tonight.
Very good read right there. He pulled the ball and just took off and used his fullback as a blocker. Took it right on up there, made a nice cut to get outside, picked up good yardage to get down to the 18-yard line.
He's called his own number 6 times tonight, and he's picked up 72 yards. Two receivers to the left. They want to pass. They're trying to set up the screen again. Cromity's open. Gets in the ball very late, though, and Cromity really didn't get down to get it either. Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Coaches are pointing at something. I don't know what they're pointing at. Look for the pass, possibly. I wouldn't expect too many more pass plays. Look, you see the coaches. They went nuts after that last play. Maybe they were yelling at the referees. There was an infraction or something, but
they spent a lot of time in the officials' ear this evening. Here's the pass play again, pursued by Payton. Here goes Williamson again. Nice moves. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be about 3rd and 10.
Not too many times we see Tarek Payton get into that backfield and not make the tackle, Vince. He got back there, and Williamson just made a good move on him. Usually Tarek Payton's quicker than these other guys in there, and he can bring them down.
Columbia, you know why they haven't been passing tonight? Because they've been running so well. 39 carries, 232 yards.
It's a very good ground game.
Most people will tell you if you have a good ground game, you're going to have a very good chance at winning. Unfortunately, the special teams at Buholtz has negated that. Back to pass again. Williamson getting a season's worth of work on this drive alone, and he's loose. He's got blockers if he goes outside. He's still on his feet. He can smell the goal line. Bubba Key, does he get in backwards? He does. An incredible play. Get that one for the highlight film. From 18 yards out, James Williamson goes in backwards.
What a great job by James Williamson. The kid did not say no. He just kept going and did the Nestle plunge into the end zone.
And the mascot without her head is running on the sidelines. 8 carries, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns for James Williamson. Why hand off? Just keep the ball in his hands.
I don't blame the mascot. I'm sure it's as hot in that thing as it is up here. God, that was a great run. He did a good job following his blocks, cutting back up through the middle. Great job by the sophomore.
And, of course, we have another whistle.
It was an encroachment on Buholtz.
Dead ball, encroachment against the Bobcats. The men in black and gold have had 10 penalties thrown at them, 70 yards. And Jeff Carter, who got the start tonight, inside linebacker after a couple of solid performances in the previous 2 games, is shown right there. He's had a pretty solid game tonight from the inside linebacker spot. So to kick for Columbia to try and get this within 7, Billy Jennings, the senior. The holder is Eddie Norris. Long snapper is Lee Mixon. Right down the middle, a strong kick by Jennings. This is only a 7-point ball game, 4:40 remaining.
They have a very good field goal kicker in Jennings. Last week against Sewanee, the difference in the game was that he hit his extra point and the kicker for Sewanee missed his. It was a 28-27 game. Right now, he's hit all 3 of his extra points to make this a 28-21 game. Buholtz, I would expect to see the onside kick with only 4:40 remaining here in the 4th quarter. And the way that Buholtz has done a good job on offense, I would expect to see the onside kick.
So does Coach Dean. He's got the hands team in there. R.J. Anderson, Corey Gostin, Dave Sanders, Wesley Perkle, Ted Bullard. Most of the offense is within 20 yards of the ball. Looks like it's going to be the bull rush type onside kick.
They're coming right up the middle.
Takes a nice bounce. That went 10 yards.
Ball. That went 10 yards.
The official throws the card about less than a foot behind the 50.
No. He unless what the referee is saying is that that's where the player's feet were, because he reached out and grabbed that ball. Look at the coach for Columbia. He is going nuts. He's on the 50-yard line.
Skip Wolf is not happy.
He cannot believe it. I tell you what, it looked to me up here like he got that ball past the 50-yard line.
I'm sitting right on the 50.
Yes.
And that ball looked, if nothing else, to be right on the line to make it a judgment call.
That is a very big play, because now Buholtz gets the ball. That, I would like to see the replay. I wish we could have the replay of that, because that sure looked like he got the ball past the 50. But the referee says it's not, so obviously it's not. And it's now Buholtz's ball, and Columbia is going to need to have a big defensive stand here. Buholtz on the other side, they probably want to run the ball and run this clock down.
And Columbia needs to calm down and get back to the business at hand, and they do that very well. They're stopped for a loss. Columbia's crowd is excited now. They've been quiet the whole game. Took them a while to get warmed up.
They
the
are
clock is still running.
Whaling Jennings in the crowd there with the purple shirt on.
A remarkable resemblance.
Willie Whalen and the boys have come down from Lake City to enjoy this one.
2nd and 10, and the clock just went to 4 minutes. Confusion on the Buholtz offense. They do not want to call a timeout in this position. Pitch to Wimberly. He's got Bullard blocking him. Look at the play. Play it. Mike Williams right out there took on the block of Bullard and pushed him out of bounds. And out of bounds stops the clock too with 3:44 left. Mike McKnight's on the field. He's going to give us a little update.
An update on that onside kick, guys. The ball did go 10 yards, but the call by the line judge on this side of the field on the near side said it was touched by Lake City, Columbia before it went 10 yards. That is, of course, then not an illegal onside kick. Buholtz's ball. Lake City, Columbia needs a turnover here. Back to you guys.
That's what I thought. I said he reached out for the ball. Obviously, the referee said that his feet were still just on the other side of the 50 when he reached out. The ball was definitely over the 50 when he reached out and grabbed it.
I agree with that. Johnson, probably the biggest pass of this night. He wants deep. He wants R.J. Anderson. And it's incomplete. A good no call.
That is a good no call. I tell you what, if 32 didn't turn around there at the last second, Corey Williams doesn't turn around there at the last second, that could have been pass interference because he was not playing the ball. But he did get his head around, and he did play the ball when R.J. ran into him. That was a big play for this Columbia defense.
Corey Williams has played an incredible game at right corner, taking R.J. Anderson right out of the game.
I tell you what, it's 4th down right now, and Buholtz is lined up for the punt. But Vince, we know that they don't always punt when they line up for the punt.
Well, there it is. McCants has got some room, though. McCants is not used to running the ball. He picked up a first down. Brad McCants used every last bit of strength in those legs to turn an incredible mishap into a miracle.
That was a great individual play by Brad McCants right there. The ball would have been blocked if he would have tried to kick it. He got out of there. He got hit 3 yards short of that first down, but he just drove the guy. That's a big play. That right there could wrap up the game, Vince.
He's got the number. Coach Dean might think about putting him in the backfield after that show.
He did a good job. I tell you what, that quieted that Columbia crowd very quickly.
Well, Buholtz got real loud. Coach Dean says McCants is a very coachable, smart young man. He knew exactly how far he needed to get for that first down. Wimberly has a good idea which way to go. Picks up about 2. He's had 19 carries tonight for only 49 yards. He's not been effective last 2 games.
You got to give credit, though. This Columbia defense has been very good tonight, Vince. They've given up. Actually, the defense hasn't really given up that many. They've given up drives of 3 and 7 yards, and then there's been a couple of returns. So the Columbia defense, I mean, 28 points by Buholtz is kind of misleading. They've played a great game. I mean, led by Kaylin Jackson out there, the captain of them.
And Tashay Everett's made a lot of tackles.
Yes.
Second and a long 9. 2:48 remaining in the 4th quarter. Things are suddenly interesting again at Citizen Field. Off tackle, Damon Wimberly trying to go right behind Conrad Call.
I'm kind of surprised Columbia's not calling a timeout right here.
They've got him. Maybe they're saving him for offense.
I don't know.
Not a good idea.
As far as I can recall, they have not called one yet. They have all 3 left, but they're going to let this clock tick. By the time Buholtz runs another play, it's going to be down near the 2-minute mark.
So it's 3rd and 9 right now. This is another big play call.
Coach Dean, it's interesting to see here if he'll go to the air, because an incomplete pass, of course, does stop the clock. So interesting to see what he calls here. He's telling him to wait. He wants to wait till the last possible second to run this play. It's good strategy there by Coach Dean.
Let's hope his clock is in tune with the official timer on the field. It wasn't. That stops the clock, and you lose 5 yards.
Now I think they have to throw the ball. Well, actually, there is only 1:57 left, and Columbia has shown that they have trouble throwing the ball tonight. But you're right, Vince. This is a very interesting game all of a sudden. It's very interesting if McCants had not put his head down and bowled his way for 3 extra yards there. Great individual effort by him.
We've seen some amazing plays in the second half when the game was tied 14-14 at the half. Each team knew exactly what they needed to do coming out of there. Hand off to Rembert. Nice slashing run by the fullback. Picks up about 7. That makes it 4th and 5. Now Columbia decides to use their timeout. They probably should have used them earlier because they don't have the passing game that's going to stop the clock for them.
No, they don't. 1:52 left. After the punt here, it's probably going to be around 1:45 or so. If they do punt, Buholtz may run another play. Just may run like a simple little rushing play or something.
To stay with the Cox Cable program, make sure you hear the videos and see the music on Video Visions with the longtime host Dwayne and the new cast for this semester, and also Bring the Noise, rap, reggae, and more with Elo and the crew. Saturday at 6:30 on Cox Cable 8.
Snoop Doggy Dogg will definitely be in the house then, for sure.
Word.
Yeah, word. A lot of strategy going on right here. Very interesting to see what Coach Dean's going to call here. Will they run the ball? Hey, we're on camera.
Welcome to
Hi, Mom.
Field, everybody. Now you know what kind of seats we get. Got this bar in the way all the time. This big monitor. 4th down.
Now my mom will see me on TV.
4th down, no punt. Explain this one to me. Explain that play call to me.
Wow.
Oh my
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, what a hit by Bontrell Mitchell. He saw it coming. That guy never saw Bontrell. Bontrell just put his shoulder down and crushed him. He absolutely crushed him. I'm surprised that guy got up. He laid there for a second. Wow, what a hit. Bontrell Mitchell, big game.
Putting the highlights aside, why wouldn't Buholtz punt in that situation?
I don't know.
Keep the clock running? Columbia needs to get moving. Chased down from behind. Tackle me by Savalas Lee.
Savalas Lee, we've called his name a lot tonight. He's had a very good game. And there's another timeout called by Columbia. I tell you what, not a very good passing team. They're in a very bad position right now. They have a lot of field to go. That interception's not bad, because look at the position they've got. You know, they're at their own 24. That's really not bad. If they punt, the punt might go into the end zone. They get the ball at the 20.
Remember, if you want copies copies of this game or any game from the 1993 Cox Cable 8 season, call us at 377-1741, extension 250 or 251. That's 1995 plus tax. Our operators are standing by.
And once again, ask for Carlos Torres. He will help you out.
Carlos Torres, our producer of the Sports Week show that wraps up all the high school action.
Carlos is the man. He will help you with anything that you got.
If you got the money, he's got the stuff. He's got the copies for you. Make sure to tune into our Sports Week show every Thursday night, 7:30, with the usual hosts, Mike McKnight, Brian Greenspoon, taking you through highlights and scores of all the sports in the fall. But the sport we're concerned with right now is football. 28-21, Buholtz. Columbia has shown little of any passing attack tonight with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. Tarek Payton falls down again. A wounded duck. There's a pick. Derek Harris. He needs to get outside. He wants to run some more. He shakes a couple tackles. Brings it back to the Columbia 40. And you can hear the hammer knocking on the nails to seal the coffin. But we do have a flag on the play.
I believe, Vince, I believe that is going to be against the Buholtz. Let's see the call. The referee is telling him to wait. He told the chains to stay. When a referee tells the chains to stay, that's a very good clue that it just may be against Buholtz.
Hold it. It looks like a personal foul. Roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer. That's big. That is big because that will be an automatic first down for Columbia.
And I was following the ball. I didn't see who was guilty of that infraction.
It may have been, I saw an offensive lineman pushing one of the Buholtz players in the back. Coach Dean very upset by that call.
He should be upset about that call.
He wants an explanation from the referee as to what's going on.
12 penalties, 90 yards for Buholtz.
Automatic first down, 15-yard penalty, and Vince, Columbia's still got a good chance. Minute 13 left in this game. This is very interesting.
Left. That might even, I mean, not saying anything about the call being right or wrong, but that evens out for the onside kick. Maybe.
Yeah.
Not quite as good field position. Buholtz wants to call a timeout and calm things down. This game has had an ebb and flow that you just don't see a lot of high school football.
Yeah. I believe I saw back there, I saw one of the offensive linemen going after one of the Buholtz players. I couldn't really see his number. That probably was the guy who laid the late hit back there. May have been Derek Harris back there.
Derek Harris, the one with the interception, made the great run, set up the great field position, but unfortunately there was the personal foul roughing the passer. Coach Skip Wolf trots on the field for Columbia. He's in charge of the offense, and he needs to come up with some plan.
Once again tonight, we see Coach Dean talking to the referees.
Coach has been on the field not quite as often as the penalty flags.
He's been out there quite a bit. Look, now he's saying, yes, you put oregano in there. The ref just look. No, he says no.
You put oregano in your hamburger?
He said, doesn't do anything for it. He's saying, yes, I guarantee.
You put oregano in your hamburger?
No, he's worried about that clock.
I want to tailgate with you.
A little spice adds life, you know.
I've always found seasoned salt's good. The clock's running. 1:10 remaining. James Williamson under center. Big rush by Gator Reed, can't get him. Look at the arm by Williamson. Through the hands of Jameel Bullock. That was a tough pass. It was over his outside shoulder, but still it hit him in the hands.
Oh my gosh. If he makes that catch, they got the ball at the 20-yard line, maybe even more. Bullock, he returns their kicks for him. He has pretty good hands. That's just you got to keep concentration right there, Vince. You got to look that ball right into your hands.
Once again, Columbia's got another chance.
Yeah.
1 minute remaining. Back to pass again. He has absolutely no help. Screen pass to Crumity. They put it in the hands of the guy who needs to do the work. He heads to the middle of the field, though. They need to hustle and line up for the next call. Do they have a timeout? Clock has stopped as they move the chains. He's to Buholtz territory, the 45-yard line.
They're calling a timeout. Don't know if that's a... They got the clock stopped for the change. They should just get up on the ball and throw it down, but they have called a timeout, and they are now past the 50-yard line, Vince.
Unfortunately, in high school rules, you can't just throw the ball down. They'll call grounding on you here in the state of Florida.
Oh,
we got to separate our NFL and NCAA knowledge from our high school knowledge, which, of course, is vast.
The NFL is getting a little weird with those grounding penalties and non-grounding penalties. It's hard to keep up with it nowadays.
Coach McKnight, Mike McKnight is signaling to me that ball was right in Bullock's hands. He's showing me that right off the right pinky.
That was a great pass by the sophomore. Let me say it again, James Williams. He hit him right. I mean, God, he put it right there. You can't ask for a better pass. He really should have caught it.
Skip Wolf said before the game, he's got a strong arm, no problem there at all, good mechanics, but he's a sophomore.
Yep.
And it's just a question of with the accuracy.
I tell you what, it's a big thing is he's doing a good job of getting away. Buholtz is getting in the backfield almost every down, and he's getting away from Tarek Payton.
He's getting some good blocks from Crumity, too, to pick up the blitz coverage. Hard rush again. Williamson throws the short pass. Bullock's not on the same page in the playbook, unfortunately, so the clock will stop. Second down, 45 seconds remaining.
What was that? He just displayed the strong arm, and all of a sudden he comes up a little weak there.
Like we said, 2nd and 10. Crumity in the backfield. Norris to the left and Jernigan to the right. Blitz, they're looking for the screen. Nice pass by Williamson. It's overthrown by just a little bit. Great pressure there by Buholtz.
Tell you what, I don't think he had much place to go anywhere if he does catch that ball. But the only thing he can do is get out of bounds, possibly get back to the line of scrimmage. It wasn't a real good play there. Now here's a big play for you. 3rd and 10, the 45-yard line with a shaky passing attack.
You can see most of the that's the Columbia sideline is on their feet. Tigers on 3rd and 10. Williamson not showing a good control of the passing game, but he's made some big plays when he has to scramble. And they're just sending everybody on the blitz. Breon Thomas goes up high. It's knocked away by Derek Harris.
Oh, good job by Harris because Thomas had that ball in his hands. And that was plenty of room for the first down.
4th down. You think they'll punt? No.
You think they'll punt?
36 seconds remaining. We've seen everything else this evening. All kinds of ebb and flow, special teams, fumble recoveries, interceptions, and especially penalties. Nobody's covering the wide receivers at the bottom of the field. Buholtz sending 5 people on the blitz. Williamson is tackled from behind. Turnover on downs to the Bobcats.
That should wrap it up right there, Vince.
Tarek Payton on the tackle.
I thought he had a chance to get by those guys. If he gets by them, he's got the first down right there. But once again, it was that defensive pressure from that front line of Buholtz that got through there, and they disrupted the play.
Williamson, the sophomore, is into this game 4 for 14 for 46 yards.
But
great running. Got incredible running. 9 rushes, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns.
We'll see
would be player of the game for Columbia.
Excuse me?
He would be our player of the game for Columbia, but since we only give it to the winning team, Buholtz Special Teams has definitely earned the right to be called the player of the game. Time has expired on one of the classics, Cox Cable 8.
What a great game we had tonight. Buholtz and Columbia. Buholtz pulling out the 28-21 win. That is a big win for Coach George Dean's team heading into conference play next week with Ocala Vanguard. They're going to be riding high.
Stay tuned with the post-game show with your Sports Week host Michael McKnight and Brian Greenspoon right after this. Final score 28-21.
special teams, really just a phenomenal game for those guys. Jeff Carter blocks a punt, returns a touchdown on that punt. Vontrell Mitchell has a huge kickoff return. Dave Sanders blocks a punt. Did you guys implement a new strategy to get the Columbia punt team, or what?
No, we just worked on everything hard. We said we had to do everything right to beat these people. We couldn't let up in any phase of the game. We had to beat them in 2 phases. I don't know if we did, but we sure beat them in the kicking game.
Yeah, special teams was a key. Coach, switching a little to the defensive side, seemed like the Bobcat defense was sort of on a bend but don't break strategy tonight. You know, they kind of let some points get put on the board, but they came through in the end.
Well, we just got after them. You know, we just had to get better than we were last week. We didn't execute very well last week. We just got to go out there and do what we're supposed to do. We just did a lot of coaching, went back to basics, blocking and tackling and doing things right, and it paid off. It was a big win for us.
How about some of the defensive lineup changes you made? How do you think that affected this game? I noticed there was definitely some changes from last week's game against Santa Fe.
Well, I think what you have to play people that are going to do what you're asked to do. We have a scheme defense. You have gap control defense. People who do what they're supposed to do are much more important than people that are great athletes, and we just got to play people who are going to do what they're supposed to do. If you can't do what you're supposed to do, it's going to be hard to play on this team.
Okay, that's the comments from Coach Dean, Bobcat coach for Buholtz, victorious tonight, 28-21 as they beat the Columbia Tigers. Back to you, Vincent Kevin.
Good interview, Brian. Coach Dean really told us exactly how I'll get this out of my mouth, how Buholtz won the game. And we want to point out something for Columbia. James Williamson had a great game as a Columbia quarterback.
Hopefully we're going to be able to get a few words with James Williamson. Mike McKnight's trying to find him down there. But I tell you what, this Columbia team, they may have lost tonight, but they have nothing to be, ashamed of or anything. The defense played really well. Special teams gave up a lot of points, but the defense did a good job, and offensively, the offense that Williamson was running down there, they really racked up the yards rushing.
They did have a lot of yards rushing, 252 yards for Columbia, an incredible outing, but Deion Crumney only got the ball 2 times in the second half. We've got James Williamson down on the field for an interview with Mike McKnight.
On the sidelines with Lake City Columbia quarterback Jamie Williamson. Jamie, you guys gave it all you had. You tried hard there at the end. It just didn't pan out for you.
It ain't really much to say. They just played good defense. That's about all.
You guys ran the triple option a lot. It's pretty much the basic offense. Did you have a hard time running in the second half as opposed to the first half, or was it the same thing?
No, it's the same thing. Just learn from the mistakes in the first half and try to capitalize in the second half.
Late in the game, late in the game, you had a key pass drop here on the far sidelines over here. I don't know if you could see it or not, but you had an out pattern run. Were you guys definitely trying to throw the ball more in the second half, or only when you got down by a few points?
And we were just trying to get the ball in the end zone, really.
All right. Jamie Williamson here on the sidelines, Lake City Columbia's quarterback. They fell tonight to the Buholtz Bobcats. Back to you guys, Vincent Kevin.
Thanks, Mike. And we mentioned that Columbia had 252 yards rushing on the game. It was just an incredible performance on all 3 sides of the ball, offense, defense, and special teams.
Exactly. I tell you what, Williamson, he looked pretty dejected there. He doesn't have anything to shake his head about. He was not getting a chance to get back there and set up there late in the game. He did a really good job. He's the reason that they got a lot of those points. I tell you what, though, 9 rushes for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's a heck of a game for the sophomore. He is going to be a great one before he graduates from Columbia High School.
I'll tell you, Coach Dean is tired of seeing good quarterbacks who can run the option on Columbia with Demetric Jackson a couple years ago, and maybe this guy in a couple years. Special teams for Buholtz, though, definitely the player of the game. Dave Sanders, block punt. Vontrell Mitchell, a 93-yard kickoff return. I could go on, and I will. Jeff Carter, a punt block, stopped the fake punt late in the game, and McCants had the first down on the run with a bumbled snap from the thumb.
Yeah, Columbia played a pretty good game. Now, next week, they got to go to Valdosta, Georgia. That's going to be a really tough match for them. But Buholtz, they have to be happy about this big win. They start district play next week. They have to go to Ocala Vanguard. That's going to be a very big game, but I'm sure coming off this victory, it's going to make it a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm. It's been a great game here. Glad to bring it to you from Citizens Field. 28-21, the score. Buholtz wins. And I'm Vince Regan. Join us next week, East Side and Santa Fe. A huge district game that will definitely have ramifications in the state playoffs. That's September 25th, 7:30 p.m. right here on Cox Cable, your high school sports leader. So from Mike McKnight, Brian Greenspoon, Kevin McKelvin, and the entire Cox Cable staff, my name is Vince Regan.
Let's see how big it was. Here's some of the